I'm going to give you guys an example of how I would do it, right? So look at, let's go to Galatians 3:1 right now. I know you have a couple different areas. Let's look at 3:1. You already memorized it, so you got a head start. So there are a lot of different ways to figure out how to memorize these verses, just words, right? So my brain likes to think in numbers. Is anyone else a numbers kind of brain? Like, do you think in numbers a lot? Or do you like to, do you think in people? Do you think in colors? I think in numbers. So I look at that and I go, that's 3 words. You foolish Galatians, 3 words. What's the next question? Someone say it. That's right. How many words is that?
4.
So I will often remember this verse by going 3-4. I don't know why I do that, but it helps me remember. Because sometimes you will get things like, who was it that had bewitched you? Well, that's way more than 4 words, right? So that's not right. So 3-4. Who, you foolish Galatians, who has bewitched you? All right. So we can also do. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So you can also use certain. You can use the first letter of each word. So look at the end of this verse. Jesus Christ was clearly portrayed as crucified. P-A-C or PAC. So if you're having a hard time remembering a phrase, how many of you have found a couple phrases you just couldn't get down right? You're nodding your head, Haley. What was that phrase for you? Do you have one that you remember that you just couldn't get quite right? What was it?
The person who does not do these things.
Oh, where is it? Verse 12?
Yes.
Okay, so the person who does these things will live by them? All right, what was it that was throwing you off? Because it happens. Does these things? So DTT, that doesn't really help. I don't know, DTT. Sometimes you can get words there.
Yeah, but sometimes with the letters is that by writing down just the letters, like that's what we do with our quizzers, is that sometimes we'll just write down the first letter of each
I found
word.
it. I found it. Does these things. It's a 4-word letter, a 5-word letter, and then a 4-letter word, a 5-letter word, and then a 6-letter word. So, but see, I find those numbers, and that's how I do it. Now, once I do it a couple times, I don't remember numbers. I just kind of go, the person who does these things will live by that. But if it helps, think of it as thinking, okay, I know it's a 4-letter word, so it's not going to be Abraham, right? Use it that way, all right? So what I do most of the time, because I'm going to learn verse 12, right? I will look at my portion, and I'm going to say it out loud. The law is not based on faith. On the contrary, it says, the person who does these things will live by them. Now, how many of you have ever studied in school, you said it once, and you just remembered it for the rest of your life? Besides Alex, how many of you have ever done that? It doesn't work, does it? You don't remember it. What do you have to do to remember it? Say it again, right? So you do it, repetition is one way you do it, right? So let's go pick a verse. So let's see, pick the verse you're next on, or next verse, go find it, and start working on that right now. And all you're going to do is just say it over and over again, all right? All right, verse you have not memorized yet. So what, you're on 14, right? Okay. And Madison, you're on what number? 13. Verse right before? Okay. All right, so make sure you say it out loud. Loud. Louder. Louder. You need to hear yourself saying it. If you're sick of looking at it, keep looking at it and saying it. Even if you already know it, just keep looking and saying it out loud. All right, you got 5 seconds. Keep repeating out loud, and we're going to change it up a little bit. All right. All right, that was only 30 seconds. You're just saying it. How well do you feel you have it? You remember it? On a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you think you know it? 2. So didn't start it, right? How about you? 3.
4 or 5.
Okay. 1, 3. Okay. So that we didn't get very far. It's 30 seconds though, right? Not really that long. You're still trying to piece together the words, right? So how many of you went and tried to learn the whole verse at once? Just the whole thing. Just right? Okay. How many of you have ever tried to eat dinner by just taking the plate and going, right? How well does that work? Not that well. How do you do it? A little bit at a time, right? So instead of doing the whole verse, we're now just going to go to pick the first phrase, all right? So let's say I was doing 3:12. I would only do, the law is not based on faith, okay? So actually, you're on 13, right? So we're just going to do, Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law, and that's it, okay? All right, you're going to do 30 more seconds. Pick the first phrase. Go. All right, stop. Okay, how many of you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you know that phrase?
5. 7. No.
Better, right? You're saying you know it, right? See how that works? Instead of trying to take that whole verse and just learn that one little bit. Okay, so let's go do it again. Next phrase. So even though what you said 5, right? Okay, not quite a 10, but you're not at a 1, right? So let's go to the next phrase. If you're good enough, we'll keep moving, all right? So again, do it again, next phrase. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you know this phrase, Nyota? 3, okay. 4.5. Okay, different levels, right? So what do we do to get the 4.5s and 3s up? What do you do? Repetition. What do you do when you have 10?
Repetition.
Yes, but always do repetition. But then go to the next thing. So have you finished learning your verse? So what do? I know it's complicated. I know it's really tricky. This whole memorizing thing, right? What I wouldn't do though is I wouldn't move to say he's on Galatians 1:1. Good example, right? He's got it 100%. He moves to 2:2. If he knows Galatians 1:1 at like kind of, don't go to verse 2 yet, right? Wait till you learn that verse. So are you done with your verse? No. So you should keep going. But he's going to go to verse 2. All right. So pick your next phrase and do it again. Use repetition. 30 seconds. All right. I want you guys to. Let's see. Alex, can you list for me the 5 senses of your body? What can you know what the 5 senses are? What are they?
Sight, smell, touch, feel. Sight, smell, touch, hearing.
Yes, taste, okay? You have 5 senses. I'll give you a hint. There are only 5 ways you're going to learn to memorize this. And you can only use your 5 senses. Right now, what are we using? We're using sight, obviously. What's another one? Hearing. That's why I was saying say it out loud so you can hear it. What's another one you're using?
It's not touching it.
Ah, well. Use your finger to follow along. It will help. It helps guide your eye, obviously. And now, I don't know. I'm not going to say go, that'll help. Okay, that's not going to help, right? You don't necessarily need to do that, right? Oh, the pages smell so good, okay? But, right, and you're not going to taste, right? So, but you need to use the ones that you can use, which is sight, hearing. So whenever I see, like I'll see this, I can't memorize, James, I don't know why. Okay, let me see you do it, okay. Paul. Okay, I don't know what's next. Well, yeah, you don't. You're not even looking at it, right? So look at it. Say it out loud. Because saying you're using more of your body, right? Because you're having to use your mouth. You're using your eyes. You're using your mouth. And so your brain is going to retain more of it, right? So, okay, now I need you guys to stand up. Stand up.
And
I
one
don't know
thing,
you, but I don't memorize sitting down. You know why? I get distracted. Anyone get distracted very easily? Because I get distracted very quickly. What keeps me from getting distracted is doing this right here. I'll just do this right here. Just kind of wander around. Anyone like fidget with their hands? Or like maybe you bounce your leg or something? Leg bouncer, toe tapper. Maybe do this right here. Anyone get the pen, they just click it to death? Pen clickers? Any pen clickers? Okay, that drives me crazy, but you need it, right? Because your brain is doing something, right? It's called a take, I guess. But you need it, so to get out of that, maybe you just need to walk around a little bit, right? So don't walk into things or people, right? So when you're at home, go to your bedroom, go to a room no one's in, and start walking around. So we're going to do the next phrase again, but this time you're going to walk around a little bit, okay?
but here's the
We're
thing.
almost done. All right, so where's my quizzers? Okay, come up here quickly. About to get ready to go up your next room. No, sit down. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well do you know the verse we just worked on?
10, 13.
Okay, so you're going to have the 10s and the 13s where you just know it, but some verses are tougher, right? You're still at 5, even at, that's okay. There's another verse coming that's going to be a little easier, right? Shorter, too. There's some long verses in there, all right? So this is what I call brute force. You're just forcing it in your brain. It's not a whole lot of fun, but it works, right? So you guys have some new techniques that are going to help? Okay, move on to your next room.